Hello everyone and welcome back to UE5 BP Guru. Today I wasn't planning on doing another games news video for a while. But a few things have cropped up over the last few days that I kind of wished I'd wait to make my Palworld video before this, wait a few days. I suppose I would have missed the trend on Pal Farm, right? And I wouldn't have had, all you lovely people jumping in to watch that video. But there's been a few updates that I've kind of glossed past, and now I kind of want to talk about. So let's get down to it. So basically, as you can see, the first thing I kind of wanted to bring up that was Palworld is obviously this was way back on the 16th, but Palworld did announce that they were aiming for a full release of its original Palworld in 2026. Now they haven't said when; they just said it's going to be 2026. But what they have said is it's going to be a huge update into version, technically version 1.1.0.0. But I mean, it's been out now. At that point, it will have been out for 2 years to get to from early access to full release. But they've said it's going to be a huge update with a ton of content. We're going to be talking about a few other bits of content coming up, but interesting to say that it's going to be a huge content update. I'm hoping so. If you played early Palworld, I haven't played it since. But if you played Palworld in near enough its entirety at the beginning, you had essentially one massive kind of semicircle of land and islands and stuff, and then you had a center tree in the middle that you technically couldn't go to. You could glitch your way there, but you couldn't technically go there. I'm hoping that we're going to get a whole new area of land. We're going to be able to access that tree officially and have more things going on in the world. When they say huge update, I'm thinking, loads more land, loads more pals, and access to more lands and stuff, and that tree. That's what I'm hoping for the full version release. And yeah, and I think it's just interesting that they finally announced that. I think it's brilliant. I'm very excited for the full release. It'll definitely bring me back to the game. I found that there wasn't quite enough content. There was plenty of pals to go and capture and battle with and explore around, but there wasn't a lot of substance outside of your base. You could build a base, you could do all that sort of stuff, which is great. And you had the 4 kind of champions, I think they called them. I can't quite remember. There was the 4 trials champions to battle. But outside of that, those sort of things, there wasn't a lot of content. So if you grinded in your own base for a long period of time, as long as you had the right pals, you could breed your way up to excellence and then just go and smash the 4 champions. And then once that was done, other than the like legendary pals, I can't remember what they called them, guardian pals, whatever they were. Other than those, your content kind of ran a bit dry. You could spend every day on Palworld forever just grinding the perfect pals if you really wanted to. If you had that kind of patience and love for the game, you definitely could do it. But I'm hoping that version 1 will bring a hell of a lot more kind of substance. Hopefully some maybe AI trainer battles would be very cool. That kind of one-on-one fighting would be awesome. Similar to those trial champions, but out in the world would be amazing. So yeah, so interesting that they're going to do that. That was the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about. Now, Palworld obviously dropped Pal Farm. We've already spoke about that this week, so I'm not going to speak about that again. But obviously that happened, and they did say when they announced version 1 being released in 2026, they were not going to bring out any other content. That was it. That was the only announcement they were going to do. And then they dropped Palworld, which was very interesting. And then they dropped this. Where is it? Palworld times Ultrakill. So, Pocket Pair has announced that Palworld next collaboration is with the fast-paced, ultra-violent retro FPS Ultrakill. So, I am interested to know in what way we're going to get a crossover. So, Palworld is not a stranger to crossovers with Terraria. That was back in June 25. Being its latest collaborator, the Tides of Terraria update saw a total of 7 new islands being added to the Palworld map, along with new equipment, pals, dungeons, bosses, and more. It seems we will soon receive the same treatment with as Palworld times Ultrakill has now been announced. Excuse me. So we're gonna be getting a lot of new gear and weapons from Ultrakill, according to this, which is really really interesting. It's cool that because Palworld is that very kind of gray area kind of creature collector where you have guns, similar to Ark with the guns and all that sort of stuff. It's very interesting that they can kind of get involved with games that are just not about monsters, but also about their weapons and armors that you could potentially see in a game. And Ultrakill is a really interesting one to go for. Um, so we've had Terraria. We're gonna get Ultrakill. I don't know whether we're gonna be getting new pals and stuff in these updates. They haven't really spoke about that too much, but obviously we know we're getting gears and weapon that will tie in to Ultrakill. So that's in itself is interesting. I hope there's some a little bit more there. So like they did with Terraria with the new islands, it would be interesting if we also got a new island and maybe a couple of new pals that kind of fit in around Ultrakill. That would be very very cool. It didn't stop there though. They were also announced another thing, which only came out yesterday, I believe it was announced. Oh, get rid of that. Once Human has now also collaborating with Palworld. Um, yeah, so the world of Palworld is coming to Once Human in a major crossover next month, introducing creatures and exclusive maps and mechanics in a major collaboration. So it's kind of gone the other way. So where Ultrakill is going to give stuff to Palworld, Palworld is like Once Human, yeah, use our stuff. So this is coming in October 30th. So it's really, really cool. Very, very soon. Kativa, Chilla, and Chilla Ignis are all confirmed to be making an appearance in Once Human alongside unnamed mystery pals in Palworld style environments in a world where metahumans, deviations, and pals live in coexistence. This free update, so it's free, includes all collaboration pals, while there will also be limited edition cosmetics and products available, including fashion outfits, accessories, and functional items. Become a pal with a special item. So you can. Does that mean you can play as the pal? That's kind of interesting. The update will also introduce an innovative transformation system where players can use special items to transform into pals and explore the world from a new perspective. Wow, that is very cool. The announcement of the crossover in Tokyo Game Show came alongside news of early access for the new scenario Deviation Survive Capture Preserve, which launches today with a full launch set for the same day as the Palworld collab debuts. So we're only a month away from that collab. That's going to Almost Human. So what I love about this is that Pocket Pair are kind of doing something that Nintendo has never done. And Nintendo very much hates collaboration. They have I don't remember a time where I can think that Nintendo hasn't collabed with another video game with their IP. So like I've never seen, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, because I've never seen like Pikachu showing up in like Halo. Like or Call of Duty or like, Mario showing up in, the only one I can think of actually, sorry, is Sonic with Sega. But they're two very big studios, very much not necessarily competing with one another. Um, so that kind of is the only thing I can think of where collaborations happened like that. Um, so Pocket Pair's kind of like, do you know what? We want to root ourselves in as a major kind of competitor to Nintendo, clearly. So they are kind of like, do you know what? Yes, let's collaborate with everybody so that we could it grows these other games with them, but also roots them more, that cements them into the public's eye as a big creature collector game that is going to rival Nintendo. um and I can only see this scaring Nintendo more and more. I can see them looking for more and more ways to make Pocket Pair disappear from this, but I don't see it happening. I don't see Pocket Pair going anywhere now. I think they are very much here to stay. And they really are going for it, which is amazing. Um, I'm interested to see what other collaborations they do in the future. As you know, I'm making my own creature collector game, and I am more than happy to collaborate with everybody. Um, so if anyone's like, "Look, dude, let's work something out. Let's work together." When my game eventually releases, I will totally be there for those collaborations. Same as Pocket Pair are doing, which I think is fantastic. There's one more other piece of news that I would like to touch upon today. If you're looking at the top bar, you'll probably already know what's coming. But yesterday, alongside these collaboration announcements, um, Doug Bowser announced his retirement from Nintendo of America. In all honesty, I completely forgot that Doug Bowser was the president of Nintendo of America. I completely forgot. The reason being is that we saw him in an E3 in like 2019, and he just basically dropped off the face of the. Like, I don't remember him doing anything of any substantial marketing or anything really for Nintendo of America that I can remember. I think I saw a few comments about he did some really wonderful things for some more kind of Latin America areas where they had issues with things like the Nintendo Store and things like that. And that made an impact on them in a positive way. But other than that, like you imagine, you think back to like Reggie, like oh my god, icon. He was like everywhere. He was in all the Nintendo Directs. He was at E3 talking up Nintendo. He was in the store. People was able to meet him because he was there and about. E3 going has obviously kind of cut that. So Doug Bowser hasn't really had that side of things to kind of back up his presence in the Nintendo space. But I mean, he did it for 5 years. It's 6 years if he started in 2019. I mean, like I said, one E3 in 2019 before they stopped doing E3, and I haven't really seen a lot of him personally. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of Doug Bowser, I can imagine that's quite sad for you that he's stepping down. Um, yeah, the last IGN interview Bowser was in May to coincide with the opening of the new San Francisco store in Union Square. Uh, yeah. Other than that, I think really it's just he was just running things in the background, I guess. But we do know who's taking over as his successor. As of like January 1st. So his last day is like bang on 31st of December. He said, "I'll take it up to the end of the year," and you know, um, whatever, right? So here we got Devon Pritchard. So she's the next Nintendo of American president stepping in. Um, I think the main thing we all saw of her was also the San Francisco Nintendo store. She was there during all of that. But this is her. Now I did see. I have read. I can't remember though what her position was. I think it was like senior marketing person. Nintendo announced that Doug Bowser retiring from his role after 6 years in the. Oh yeah, it was 6 years in the position. We say bad to Mr. Bowser. Go at the end of the year. It is exciting time to get to know the new face stepping into the boots. Not literally, we assume. We might have seen Devon Pritchard's name crop up in various conferences and events in recent years, but we actually know surprisingly little about her. Now, I know they're saying they know very little about her. She is, I'm sure she's like the head of the marketing department or something like that. Let's go down. It might have a bit more information on it. But there she was at the San Francisco store. Legal department as the presidency charged with to remember. Oh yeah, yeah. Marketing, business affairs, and publisher relations sector. That's where she's come from. The thing is, I wonder if that's a negative thing for the North America, Nintendo of America position to have someone coming from marketing because they're very much going to be more about the sales side of things than kind of the fun for the player. Like I think you need a creative. I always found Reggie was quite creative, very playful, very fun. You always saw him having a laugh. Like he always made me a fan of Nintendo, just him alone, because he was always doing kooky stuff for the fans, and he was very of the fans' mindset. And I felt that that's why we had a lot of more interesting games. Nowadays, it feels like they're just pushing what they know is profitable, and they're forgetting the fun for the fans, which is what makes the money. Um, and case in point, you think back to the GameCube era. You think back to maybe the Wii U. I guess could be counted in this. The Wii especially, a lot of fun games. It was for the family. It was fun. Nowadays, it's like Zelda, Mario, Pokemon. and occasionally you'll get like a Kirby game, an Animal Crossing game, and some of the other older mascots now just get ignored. Like we never see Star Fox, we never see Captain Falcon, we never see Nez, we never see really any of these other games that were so loved back in the day. So it's going to be interesting to see what she brings to the table. Whether she's going to be more of that let's make lots of money mindset and sue everybody that steps on our toes, or whether she's going to be more of that fun side, bringing the fans back to loving Nintendo. Only time will tell. Next year we'll see. Doug Bowser, don't really think he made an impact from Nintendo necessarily, in my opinion. But tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments. Tell me if there's any cool Doug Bowser stories that you want to tell me about. I'd love to see them. Maybe we'll do an extra. If we get enough of them, maybe we'll do a video. Who knows? But look, interesting stuff. Lots of changes for Nintendo. Clearly, a big one here, losing their president to it, and obviously hiring out Devin Pritchard. Palworld clearly storming the fronts, even more so, getting themselves into every nook and cranny in the gaming industry. I'm sure this isn't the end of what we're going to see for Palworld. There's going to be tons more collaborations, I am sure. And hey, Pocket Pair, if you're watching, our collab, hit me up. We'll do something. I don't know. Let me know. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. Leave a little like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Much love. Take care. Bye.